Hey guys, we have a big new moon in Libra coming in today, and it is going to be bringing some big news, big information, and big revelations about some things that are really probably going to be changing the way that we are viewing ourselves and the way that we are viewing ourselves also in the context of our relationship dynamics. We are entering the cardinal phase of the year right now. This is the midpoint. This is the turning point as well. When we look back in time, we will see this period of time, this day, this week, this month is when everything really changed. Big changes, big decisions, about to start taking some pretty significant actions to really reframe our external world in one way or another based on some very profound revelations about the truth of our own selves, what we want, what we desire going forward. So let's get into the chart, you guys. Let's talk about how this new moon in Libra is playing out, the aspects that we have in effect, and generally what we can expect for this cycle as it unfolds. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. My name is Aubrey, and this is my analysis of the new moon in Libra that we have coming up, the astrology, the transits, the aspects, the symbolism, everything from an energetic level that is playing into this new moon. And I am very excited to talk about this new moon. I feel like this is a positive turning point for us. There is so much wrapped up in the transits that is really giving us a very clear view of not only what is going to be coming throughout the course of this next couple weeks, this new moon cycle, but we are at the midpoint in our year, you guys. The new moon in Libra, where we're at right now, is technically, in my opinion, the real midpoint in our astrological new year, considering the new moon in Aries is really what kicks off and starts this energy. So when we come to the new moon in Libra, the oppositional sign to Aries, the sun and the moon coming together in the sign of Libra, this is the technical, astrological, energetic midpoint energy. And it is giving us an idea of what therefore is going to be unfolding throughout the course of the rest of the year. Remember, okay, first of all, let's not forget, before we get all involved in like the breakdown of the energy and stuff, let's just talk about the new moon basics first of all. This is intention setting time. This is a new cycle. This is a new cycle of growth between now and the new moon in Scorpio that will be coming up next. We are entering a period of time where we can bring some intentions or some wishes or some manifestations or whatever we are focusing our energy on into some type of fulfillment. When we have a new moon going on, this is the seed planting time. This is when we set our intentions for what we wish to grow throughout the course of the coming month. And that's where we're today. So this is a very good time to begin new things, to set intentions, to journal, to just sort of get your mind in alignment with that which you wish to create over the coming weeks. New moon vibes, new moon energy. And this is a new moon in the sign of Libra, which is ruled by Venus, and it's the sign of relationships and money and love and value and pleasure and relating to others. This is an air sign. This is a very social sign. We are likely to be social butterflies, you guys, over this next few weeks throughout the course of this Libra cycle. Always a more social time of year, of course, with the Libra energy, this socializing energy, this air energy about an exchange, an equal exchange also of like thoughts and ideas and communication when we're dealing with the air energy represented through the sign of Libra. But there's a lot, like I said, going on in this chart. First of all, the new moon itself, you guys, is in almost an exact opposition to Jupiter. This is awesome. Jupiter's the great benefic. It's the most, it brings blessings and luck. It's the most fortunate and beneficial planet in the sky. And no matter what the aspect is, if Jupiter is aspecting a planet, especially for a new moon, that is a very positive indication that there's going to be some just improvements or some success or whatever period of time we are moving into navigating right now is somehow going to be a positive or a more positive experience in some type of way. Jupiter also rules like justice and wisdom and truth and expansion. And Jupiter currently right now is also in the sign of Aries. So there's going to be, which is the sign of the self. So an expansion of our own personal truth and our ability to relate with that, opposing the new moon in the sign of Libra about relationships. This is a very strong undercurrent that we are dealing with throughout the course of this entire cycle. And we are likely to be gaining a lot of information as well about our own personal preferences with Mercury retrograde right now. Also, we are rediscovering what we want in a personal truth that we may have been unable to perceive for quite a while based on maybe some molds or some boxes that we've been trying to fit ourselves into. This is when we are breaking out of the box. This is when we are liberating ourselves from our pre-existing stories maybe that we've been adhering to about our lives and ourselves, and we are figuring out who we really are, what we really want, what we really value, what our value really is, what we will and will not accept anymore, who we want to relate to and who we don't, how we want to do relationships, how we want to spend our money, and what we need to do and actually in order to actually practically begin to embody that. This is what we're dealing with. The new moon itself in an opposition to Jupiter. We also have Mars in a trine to Saturn, almost exact. Saturn and Uranus in almost an exact square. Mercury and Venus are in a conjunction as well, which is in trine to Pluto. And we're going to talk about all of this and how it's all playing into each other, all wrapped up, and what it's ultimately boiling down to. And we also have some pretty significant Sabian symbols that are also really giving us some information that is validating actually what is happening with the transits. So we'll talk about that as well. So my rundown for today's report is I'm going to talk about some themes, some general themes that I feel like all of this is boiling down to. Then we will talk about the aspects and comprised it within this chart one by one by one. Then we will talk about the Sabian symbols, and then we'll just sort of tie it all together and grab us a synchronicity card to get some guidance, advice from God, Spirit, Universe as we are navigating this day and this period of time. So let's start, you guys. I've already been talking for a while and I haven't even said the new moon 2022 Libra, Sunday, September 25th. 5:54 p.m. Eastern time, and it is happening at exactly 2 degrees and 48 minutes of the sign of Libra. Sun and the moon coming together, 2 degrees, 48 minutes of Libra. You guys know that on this channel, we look at the Sabian symbols. So as a result of that, we are going to be rounding up a degree when we are reading the degree placement of this energy, because when we read the symbolism associated with the degree placements, we always round up a degree to look at the energy that is incoming, that is pulling in, instead of the energy that is waning out as energy moves in waves. And so we're going to be doing that as well. When we go through this report, we are going to be talking about 3 degrees of Libra as the position of the new moon, just so that we can take into account the Sabian symbol that is associated with it, because like I said, the symbolism is also telling quite a significant story. But 2 degrees, 48 minutes of Libra, sun and moon coming together, and literally 3 degrees and 48 minutes of Aries. That is where Jupiter is right now. So it's an exact 1 degree orb opposition, like to the minute, which is really tight and really significant. So let's talk about these themes, then we'll get into the aspects. Okay, first of all, like I said, like this chart, it's like that was the day that everything changed. That is really the vibe that I'm getting for this new moon cycle. And I don't mean like today necessarily, but I mean like in the greater scheme of things, in the greater context, like when all is said and done, when we're looking back, it's going to be like, yes, like late September, October of 2022, that is when things really began to shift and change. So that is the energy that we are building into, and that I feel like is presenting face value with this chart. Big information also that is responsible for that. There's some major revelation or some big information that is being delivered in a pretty perhaps like large or significant way as well, that is leading to these changes, for which these changes are a consequence that are incoming. We are also rejecting in this energy that which is no longer truly fulfilling to us on like a very deep soul level. So big information, revelations, a rejection of that which is no longer truly like in alignment with us. And also with this Jupiter energy, for some reason, whatever is going on is restoring optimism and hope and justice and balance and peace. If you guys watched my September work, my September overview, and our last new moon in Virgo that encapsulated a lot of the month of September, that whole energy was also about helping us to really gain some type of discovery, or to gain some type of information that actually helped to bring things to a peaceful resolution or conclusion, or gain some closure, or just resolve things in some type of way. Maybe not necessarily bring them back together, but just have some type of like peaceful reconciliation or resolution or closure that is going on, where like both sides of the situation end with like a sense of inner balance or peace or something. And I feel like that is what is coming with the energy that is being represented through this new moon in Libra that we have right now as we are closing the month of September. It's like everything that the new moon in Virgo was indicating and everything that the energy for the month of September itself was indicating was really like leading towards what would be activated in this last week of September as we are activating in our new moon in Libra energy. And that was because we had Mercury, the ruler of that cycle, in the sign of Libra for the new moon in Virgo. And there were a lot of other aspects and stuff played into that. We had Venus and Mercury in mutual reception for a large part of that month. And that is a lot about, rediscovering what we truly want. And that's also a very significant theme of what we have playing into this new moon, because Venus and Mercury are in a conjunction for this new moon. And now we are in the Libra cycle ruled by Venus in a conjunction to Mercury, whereas before we were in the Virgo cycle where Mercury was in the sign of Libra, bringing Libra or Venus and Mercury energy together. They were in mutual reception. Venus was in Virgo, Mercury was in Libra, and now we have Venus and Mercury coming into a conjunction for our new moon. They're actually going to be coming into an exact conjunction over this next couple of days, and an exact trine to Pluto as well, which is really a vibe that is characteristic of this chart also, and that I will be talking about. But we're talking about some big transformations and some release from some past mindsets and attachments in terms of our preferences that maybe we are realizing is out of alignment with that which we truly desire and that which fills us up. Major shifts, major changes, major emphasis on self and others, ourselves and relationships, and personal truths and how that alters relationship dynamics at this period of time. But with Jupiter in the opposition, you guys, this is definitely about this optimism, self-confidence, like faith, trust, belief in ourselves, like an ability to like feel more self-assured and an ability to like take a risk or set out on a new direction, a sense of independence as well that is coming through with this, and maybe breaking through some maybe codependent relationship dynamics or patterns that may have held us back in the past as well, something that we could be experiencing and this energy. But that Jupiter influence there is a very, very positive dynamic that is really helping to promote the success of whatever changes we are making or whatever risks we are taking at this period of time. We are also gaining a very significant self-awareness in the context of our relationship dynamics. That's another aspect of what is coming through with this, and restructuring our mind in alignment with the truth of our heart. Major emphasis with Mercury retrograde right now and all of these retrograde planets, and now the Venus influence really coming in strong on this reevaluation or rediscovering our own value, and therefore what we value in others and how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to others, and the way that that is impacting our relationship dynamics and our choices going forward. Viewing ourselves and others much differently. It's like a whole new day, you guys, the way that this energy is coming through. Making changes in our relationships that reflect our personal changes and our authentic desires that we are rediscovering in this energy as well. These are some of the themes that I feel like are just embedded throughout the messaging that is being indicated via the symbolism and the transits and like everything the way that it's playing out at this point in time. Now let's specifically talk about the new moon itself in this opposition to Jupiter, what this might mean, what this is indicating for us. First of all, the new moon, like I said, it is happening at 3 degrees of Libra, and according to the Sabian symbol placement. And that Sabian symbol, you guys, I couldn't believe it when I like realized what symbol this new moon was coming in at. 3 degrees of Libra, the dawn of a new day reveals everything changed, and that could not be more appropriate for where we're at and what this energy is doing. Like I said, that was the day when everything changed, and it's through this revelation, Jupiter in the sign of Aries opposing the new moon with Mercury in retrograde, conjuncting Venus, ruler of this cycle, in the trine to Pluto, some major revelation that we are gaining about ourselves or about what we want or about what we value or about our own self-worth that is really changing everything for us moving forward that is changing the way that we experience life generally based on these significant changes going on within us and just this awakening that we are coming to. It's like I've been saying this past couple days for our equinox report, and when we had Mercury and the sun actually come into an exact conjunction at 1 degree of Libra, that Sabian symbol being a butterfly made perfect by a dart through it. I feel like this period of time is also about that saying, a mind that is stretched by new experiences can never go back to its old dimensions. That's what's happening. And this is the period of time where we are getting that stretch to our mind that is changing everything and prohibiting us from being able to go back to our previous perceptions of ourselves, reality, what we wanted, and what we envisioned our life to be like moving forward. So very telling that the new moon in Libra right now, also a cardinal cycle, the action-oriented phase. This is when things happen. Revelations, this Jupiter-Mercury energy, new day reveals that everything is changed. So we have that going on. And then Jupiter as well. 4 degrees of Aries. Remember I said they are exactly 1 degree to the minute, 1.00 apart. That Sabian symbol for Aries, where Jupiter is, 2 lovers strolling through a secluded walk. So as if, with all of this Libra energy, being in the Libra cycle with Jupiter in opposition, like as if we, in the Mercury Venus dimension of things, like as if we didn't know that like love and relationships were going to be a major theme this month. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is literally discharging a degree. Speaking of 2 lovers strolling through a secluded walk. This is, first of all, we're talking about 2 represents choices and decisions and also balance and harmony. And we're talking about the lovers. And in the tarot, the lovers also refers to choices and decisions and like a balance going on between things. But of course, there is also a reference, very strong reference to relationships and relationship dynamics in this symbolism as well. And again, Jupiter is this expanded energy. So the dawn of the new day reveals everything changed for the 2 lovers strolling through the secluded walk. What is revealing itself to us right now? What are we coming to discover, and how is that changing the choices we are making for ourselves in love, relationships, commitments? And this also can translate into like value and what we value and how we spend our money and what we find pleasurable and how we want to relate and socialize with others. It doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. It can be partnerships and friendships of all kinds across the board. We are really rediscovering this based on this revelation that is changing everything for us, and it is being absolutely indicated through these aspects and their specific Sabian symbol degree placement. Very significant to me. I keep using that word, but it's just this, it's really powerful. Like when I saw that, I was like, wow, there's literally like these 360 Sabians, and these are the 2 that we have coming out with the new moon itself, sun and moon in alignment, both the sun and the moon, both luminaries at that degree in the opposition to Pluto, not Pluto, in the opposition to Jupiter. Very different vibe than Pluto. While all this other stuff is going on, indicating these relationship shifts and changes and everything at these degrees, like very telling us a lot, okay? But Jupiter and Aries, you guys, this is opposite our new moon. The sun and the moon, both luminaries, the spirit and the soul, the conscious and the unconscious, like our energy and like how we are embodying ourselves in the world and like our emotions and what's going on inside of us and our feelings and our internal environment in alignment, both reflecting off of this positive expanded Jupiter energy. In Aries too, courage, self-confidence, optimism, hope, trust, faith, expanded sense of self-awareness as well, luck, success, blessings. This supports risks, this supports new pursuits of all kinds. Although I will tell you, you guys, until we get a direct Mercury, I still would not be jumping into relationship commitments, financial commitments, like making big decisions and stuff like that, because there is still some stuff that is like being reevaluated and recalibrated, and we still don't have all of the insight and all of the information in the way that we will once we get through this next couple of weeks. I would definitely wait a little bit until we get, maybe into the first week of October or so, when Mercury is going to be going direct. But it is very supportive, you guys, of sort of like a shift in the vibe. Like we are less likely to feel like we are sort of just like banging our head against the wall and nothing is happening and nothing is working and nothing is like working out in our best interest or in our favor or anything. Like, we are likely to feel like things are sort of happening in a way that is like supporting the outcome that we want, I guess you could say, and like a successful outcome of things in this energy. Like, our energy is likely to be paying off more so now than maybe it has up until this point in the year, okay? But one thing that we do want to watch for, and this is really important with this Jupiterian influence, especially in the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars, and this is also the ego, right? We really want to watch going overboard with things, any type of like arrogance, self-arrogance or self-righteousness, also lacking boundaries, and lacking self-control as well. Although, another aspect that we have playing out in this chart is actually Mars in almost an exact trine to Saturn in Aquarius, and Mars is ruling the sign of Aries, this Saturn. So we may not be having that much trouble with like self-discipline and self-control, but we still do want to be mindful that we're not just being overly excessive or taking things over the top or being just very like self-righteous or more like dogmatic about like asserting our own beliefs and viewpoints about stuff. Because we have to remember, this is a period of time where everybody is really reprocessing their own personal truth, and everybody's personal truth is going to be different in terms of their own like authentic truth, right? Their own personal originality and uniqueness. Nobody's is going to be exactly the same as anybody else. So this is not energy where we need to be, standing on any type of like soapbox preaching the truth that we've personally discovered. This is where we take that truth that we've personally discovered and we apply it to our own lives in order to create our lives as a reflection of who we want to become next based on this revelation about who we really are, right? But it's not about us like proclaiming that truth for the world and then like expecting like our model that we've come up with to fit and apply to everybody else. This is a very internalized process of self-discovery that will be very, very different and very unique for everybody. So we are not asserting our own personal truth onto others in this energy that is about, self versus others, which it could be a tendency if we're sort of getting carried away in whatever we're discovering in this energy. So we do want to make sure that we are like self-regulating and self-checking and making sure that we are respecting other people's boundaries and that we are not like just being like way over the top with things, and especially related to like our beliefs and the truths that we're coming to and what we're figuring out. We need to let other people come to their own truths in this energy without like forcing ours on other people. But other than that, word of caution, perhaps a little speed bump, very social energy, jovial energy. People should be having generally positive attitudes, and as a result of that, like things going well, because our attitude, our vibration, how we're feeling about things has a tendency to reflect in our experiences with others. And if we are coming from a place of more positive vibration, we are likely to, be getting on and getting along better with others. And therefore we are likely to be getting what we want more generally. It's just like this ripple effect of this positive energy sort of snowballing out and leading to just some more successful outcomes about stuff over this next period of time. People seeking peace, harmony, justice, balance, and resolutions in relationships, like I said, and everybody just sort of wanting to relate and socialize. This could be, a very like, people may really be wanting to be out and about, especially with Jupiter there. There could be lots of like parties and like ongoings and just like things that we are enjoying and finding pleasure, like good food and drink and occasions, celebrations, like stuff like that. Very just jovial, optimistic, positive month, I feel like, is coming in for the most part. But again, this is putting this emphasis on choices and decisions in relationships based on this expanded self-awareness and personal truth that is really changing our lives. Like, that's what this is boiled down to. Like, on one hand, yes, we are likely to be feeling pretty good about stuff, like we've gone through a lot, like stuff has been pretty difficult, but things are finally starting to like move in our favor, work in our favor. And I feel like we are kind of embracing the changes that are coming. We are kind of surrendering to them, and we're seeing things through a more optimistic, positive lens. It's like, I can do this, where we may have been really doubting ourselves and feeling very insecure and questioning how we were going to be able to actually like make the changes to move forward at this period of time. With this new moon coming in, I feel like we are coming to a point where we're actually feeling like, okay, like I can do this, like I can try it. And if we do try it, like, this is indicating that it's likely to be supported and successful. We are embodying the truths that we are coming to now. And this is also being indicated, you guys, in the Sabian symbols. We have the earth today, you know, what's happening on the ground, the state of things on the ground, 3 degrees of Aries, always in a polar opposition to the sun. So polar opposition to the sun and the moon for our new moon. That Sabian symbol is the cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. So to me, this is like that Venus and Mercury energy, like what we are rediscovering retrograde, what we are rediscovering that we truly want. We are like really beginning to embody this cycle, and over this next period of time, it's like we're discovering the country within us and like what we really stand for and who we really are and what we really represent. And this is beginning to sort of manifest in the way that we are living our lives, and it's changing the way that people perceive us and the way that we express ourselves and identify in the world. Cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. Like, we are coming to embody these changes in this recognition of whatever new allegiance or alliance with ourselves that we are coming to internally. So I find that to be like really significant as well in the context of these Sabian symbols playing out that are right on point with the energy that is coming through. And it's also, you guys, on a mental level, re-empowering us to take back control over our lives and our experiences. Mercury we have at 28 degrees of Virgo today, retrograde of course, a bald-headed man in uniform who has seized power. To me, you know, this symbol can go a lot of different ways. I will say, you guys, also, I am going to say on the macrocosm level, geopolitical, I am expecting some major breakdowns and shifts of power and like geopolitical, financial, economic issues to begin happening now in some maybe pretty significant ways. We may really begin to see some evidence of the external matrix of the past really start to crumble throughout this period of time. So I want to make a reference to that as well. Shifts in power could very much so be going on. But on a personal level, a bald-headed man in uniform who has seized power, like, I feel like this is a definite reference to us regaining the control of like power over our own mind. I feel like this is talking about like us taking back the conscious awareness over our own thoughts and sort of like taking the power from our subconscious, unconscious programming and reprogramming and reconfiguring our own mental algorithm that is in like another facet of what is leading to these major changes that we are going to begin to experience in our reality. We also have the South Node actually just moved to 14 degrees of Scorpio, which is what we are releasing, moving away from, letting go of at this point in time at just moved there today. Telephone linemen's at work installing new connections. And I feel like this Sabian also in effect with Mercury at that degree, the bald-headed man in uniform who has seized power. I do feel like this is talking about a release from past mental programming that has really been overpowering our ability to consciously create the experiences that we want going forward, which fits into this whole thing about this dawn of the new day and everything changed, like us gaining a conscious awareness of where we have been sabotaging our own reality based on aligning with or attaching ourselves to that which does not truly fulfill us on this heart and soul level. And we are discovering that through the recognition in this Mercury retrograde energy and rediscovering our own preferences and values and desires and our own personal value and self-worth. And again, like what we will and we won't accept anymore and what we do and do not desire as a result of that. All fitting together, all being just like bam, bam, bam. It's being spoken about in multiple ways throughout this chart, these aspects, the symbolism that is coming through. Very clear and concise message. That is one thing we can say, you know, regardless of the retrograde energy that we have playing out right now, like the message from universe is crystal clear. Couldn't be more clear. But definite emphasis though, self versus others. We're in this Libra season. This is all about others, relationship dynamics, how we socialize, how we connect, what we enjoy, what brings us pleasure, you know, just these intermingling, networking vibes. Aries, opposed to Aries, Jupiter in Aries. This is if Libra is the sign of relationships and the sign of others, Aries is the sign of the self. So there's this definite, and Jupiter there, this expansion, this truth. There's definite emphasis on the self versus others and reconsidering what we want and what we desire for ourselves based on also these intense transformations that are going on within us. We also have Mercury and Venus together rediscovering what we want in almost an exact trine to Pluto. This is some purge, regeneration, release, detaching from those things from the past so that we can step into a much more self-empowered version of being able to attract, magnetize, manifest, and create that which we truly want, and taking action to restructure and reform the foundations of our world. This is an action-oriented phase. We're going to be making some choices to move ourselves forward during this cycle, and Mars in a trine, almost exact trine to Saturn. This is a very facilitated use of our energy to restructure the foundations of both our inner world and our outer world moving forward. We are rebuilding ourselves from the inside out over this period of time in alignment with these authentic truths and in a way that liberates us and frees us from anything that is blocking that process of growth that universe is like for pushing us towards at this period of time. Let's talk a little bit more about this Venus-Mercury aspect that we have going on in the trine to Pluto. This is also very significant. A few days after, I'm not sure exactly what date it is, but it will be sometime this upcoming week. Mercury and Venus are going to come into the exact conjunction. It might actually even be tomorrow. It might be on Monday. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'll be here in my report and we will talk about it when it happens. But I do think it's tomorrow on Monday. Venus and Mercury are coming into an exact conjunction together in the trine to Pluto. And again, this energy is very, very strong as we have it playing out today. And Pluto, this is purge and purification, regeneration. This is the Phoenix rising energy, but it also takes things down to the ashes first. This is facilitating powerful purge, transformation, regeneration regarding our understanding of our own value and what we want and what we desire. This is the purge. This is the day that everything changed, you guys. This is the month. This is the cycle that everything changed. Information and truth setting us free from things that we've been bound to through darkness or corruption or abuses of power being exposed. Like that is what is happening. Some type of information. It's like the light of the truth is shining in, and things that have been held back in bondage in any way as a result of the lack of knowledge that was going on. This is what's being alleviated. This is what's being cleared up. And it could be in any way, it could be like us operating from a subconscious place that was keeping us in a state of bondage to our own programming, essentially, you know what I mean, that we're figuring out. Or it could actually be like us being attached to negative or toxic relationship dynamics as a result of not understanding a dynamic or a dimension of what is playing out. And when we gain this crucial piece of information, it empowers us in a way that we are finally able to like detach and walk away from that relationship. This could also be in regards to addictions. This could also be have people be really breaking a lot of addictions that may have been dominating them or they've been enslaved to for a long period of time, like all that type of stuff. But it's because of some type of revelation or awakening or something. Like it's also like, it's just having some type of experience that changes our mind in such a way that we are no longer needing to surrender our power to things from the past to receive something that is like partially filling us up in some type of a way, because we are unaware of how to fill our own cup. That is what we are discovering. What we need to truly make ourselves happy, to truly make ourselves feel fulfilled, and how we need to rearrange our lives in order to like facilitate that process for ourselves. This is also though Mercury in retrograde and Venus in a conjunction in the trine to Pluto and Capricorn. This is justice restored. This is secrets revealed though that is doing this. Like I said, information that is freeing our heart in some type of, freeing our mind and freeing our heart in some type of a way, releasing and dissolving as well false perceptions, illusions, and fantasies in love and relationships. This is also, maybe we've been in a relationship for a really long period of time that hasn't been making us happy, but we've been in some sense of like idealism or illusion about it, or, looking at the potential instead of seeing the reality of it. And something hits us in this energy and we're like, you know what? I am seeing this for what it is right now, and what it is something that is not making me happy. And I'm going to make some choices over this next couple of weeks to dissolve the dimensions of this relationship that are either not making me happy, or the relationship altogether, to come back to some type of inner peace, inner balance, and state of harmony within ourselves, and also feel like we're in a place where we can begin to create the type of relationships that we do want and that do fulfill us going forward. This is empowering us, like I said, empowering us mentally to make a choice and to take a stand based on the truth in our heart. Not only is Mercury in the trine to Pluto, but at that degree as well, the bald-headed man in uniform who has seized power. And we have Venus, 25 degrees of Virgo. A boy with a censer serves near the priest at the altar. This could be because of some type of spiritual awakening or spiritual connection or spiritual like infusion or epiphany or intuitive hunch or flash of insight, some type of like spiritual experience, I guess you could say, that hits us, or just could be like just a higher understanding. With Jupiter in the opposition to these planets for this new moon, higher understanding, gaining an awareness, some type of an awakening that is helping us to like break our previous ceiling, like shatter our previous like beliefs, limiting mindsets about ourselves, and really begin to experience a whole nother dimension of life based on the changes that are taking place in this energy. The other transit, the other aspect that I feel like is pretty significant right now, Mars in a trine to Saturn. Mars is at 19 Gemini, Saturn's at 20 Aquarius. These are air signs, and Uranus is at 19 Taurus right now in a square. So Mars is in a 1 degree orb off trine to Saturn, while Uranus is a 1 degree orb off square to Saturn. Acting on the information. Mars and Gemini. Gemini rules news, information. The Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So it's like whatever news, whatever we are learning in this energy, with Mars there, we are taking action on it in some type of a way. And it is to restructure in the trine to Mars. Mars and Saturn in a trine aspect together, this facilitates like great work. This is an ability to put like very focused, concentrated energy and hard work into building something tangible, solid, concrete, long-lasting, enduring, stable, like very refined and well done. This is like a very well done feat of labor, okay? And Saturn retrograde right now in the sign of Aquarius, this is all about restructuring the framework of our inner world in alignment with the authentic truths that we are coming to realize right now. And with Mars in this trine, I do feel like that is us making choices, making decisions, taking action based on the information that we're gaining, the perspective that we're gaining, what we're learning to restructure our reality and our future path. Also, with Saturn in the square to Uranus, the action that we're taking is also helping to free us from places that we've been held back, restricted, or kept away from our process of growth and our trajectory towards maximizing our potential and activating our destiny. This is us taking action to activate destiny. That is really what this is all boiling down to. We are jumping timelines in this energy, you guys. We are the position of the sun says it all. The dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. Like, we are taking our old life, stepping off of that, like opening a whole new book and stepping onto that page. Like everything, we're totally altering the course of our experience with the conclusions that we are coming to at this point in time, the awareness that we are gaining, and the impact that is having on how we are going to be acting going forward. This is energy. I've been saying this over my past couple of reports. Like, you may have known someone for 20 years and they always acted the same way, but then just all of a sudden, sometime during this cycle, like, you see them and they are just a totally different person, like body, mind, and soul, to the point where you like don't even know them or recognize them anymore. Like, that is the type of radical changes that we are talking about right now, because we are waking up to our own truth. It's not like we are like going out there and redefining ourselves in the form of like whatever we're seeking externally. This is like universe pushing us into a place where we have no choice but to take a hold of what we have and to step into that and to embrace it and to actually see the value within it and to do something to like really start expanding that potential as well. With Jupiter talking about the new moon, this is very, a new moon, this is the seed planting phase. Whatever we are growing in this energy is going to be big and beautiful and abundant and successful with Jupiter across there. And we are growing the new version of ourselves from the original seed that was planted that may have never been watered up until this period of time. So, It's just a big one, you guys. Like, it's a big deal. Sabian symbols, we're going to talk about a few more because they're really all on point. Like, they're really all in this story today, but they're all boiling down to as well revelations, change, choices, self-empowerment, and also these relationship dynamics. I'm just going to read you guys the Sabians and say a little bit about the ones that I haven't said because I feel like it's just important information to know. The sun, like I said, 3 Libra, the dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. The earth, 3 Aries, a cameo profile of a man and the outline of his country. The moon, of course, 3 Libra as well. The dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. Mercury retrograde, 28 Virgo, a bald-headed man in uniform who has seized power. Venus, 25 Virgo, or 26 Virgo, sorry. A boy with a censer stands near the priest at the altar. Mars, 19 degrees of Gemini. In a museum, a large archaic volume reveals traditional wisdom. More revelations. We've got reveals, a new day reveals everything's changed, and then the position of Mars, our action, what we're doing with it as well. This is also talking about in a museum, a large archaic volume reveals traditional wisdom. I should say as well, these revelations that are coming to us, you guys, a lot of them for a lot of people are going to pertain to the past, are going to be bringing up and exposing information from the past that has been keeping us out of a place of self-empowerment and unable to make a decision that will liberate us in some type of way. And that is, again, how we are liberating ourselves in this energy. Past is coming back and freeing us through gaining awareness in some type of way, revealing some type of wisdom or information to us that changes everything moving forward. Jupiter, like I said, 4 Aries, 2 lovers strolling through a secluded walk. Saturn, 20 Aquarius, a large white dove bearing a message. So not only do we have a large archaic volume, you guys, revealing traditional wisdom, but we also have a large white dove bearing a message. We're talking about, and this new moon is opposite Jupiter, the large planet, the planet that supersized everything, the planet of growth and expansion. So these are referencing like some type of large information, big information that is coming in. One is a large white dove bearing a message perhaps of peace and reconciliation and justice and rebalancing things, but also of traditional wisdom, of this information, of this understanding of things, maybe about things from the past that helps to restore this peace in one way or another. Again, that is not necessarily through things coming together, but it can be agreeing to disagree or agreeing to go our separate ways, but yet everyone in the situation is still in a place of like peace and harmony with the ultimate decision or the ultimate outcome or the actions that need to be taken. Like that sort of the vibe. This is like an end of conflict, like sort of both parties walking away happy, like some type of mediation or compromise that comes about in some type of a way that just puts things at a much better place in one way or another. So I find that, the large archaic volume with the traditional, with the reveals traditional wisdom. Mars in the trine to Saturn, a large white dove bearing a message. This is also getting back to basics. This is also like rediscovering original truth, like simplifying things as well in the way that actually might improve or rebalance things. This is also very much about justice, you guys. If there have been legal situations that have not been fair, or if there has been corruption going on, or like this stuff is not standing throughout this cycle and throughout the next course of the year. So positive indications along those lines as well. Uranus, of course, 19 Taurus, a new continent is rising out of the ocean. Uranus ruling everything right now in our transition into the age of Aquarius. That's what this is all about. The dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. Yeah, because this new continent rose out of the ocean, and that's us, like us rising out of a state of being like living in a world that is dominated by emotional reactions and emotional responses and lack of emotional control and just these more turbulent emotional frequencies. Like we are gaining a conscious awareness that is helping us to take back the power from our subconscious programming and consciously recreate our world going forward. This new reality, this new continent that is rising out of the ocean. And then Neptune as well, 24 Pisces, an inhabited island. I feel like this is talking about that body of land, that continent that rose out of the ocean that is now inhabited, and it has everything, it contains all of the resources necessary in order for us to thrive. I feel like this is talking about, through this process as well, us discovering the resources within us, and becoming just much more self-sustaining in that process, and no longer needing the external validation and support perhaps the way that we did in the past. Again, bringing up this like self versus others dynamic that is playing out throughout the course of this cycle. Greater sense of self-empowerment, allowing us to detach from the needs to depend on others in maybe some types of way going on right now as well. And Pluto, 27 Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. We are gaining an elevated viewpoint and an elevated perspective. We are learning what we can truly persevere and overcome, the level of our endurance. And then the North Node on the beach, children play while shellfish grope at the edge of the water. I feel like this is talking about, like I said, like just a more carefree, optimistic energy that is coming throughout the course of the cycle with the Jupiter placement, despite the fact that we've got a lot of decisions to make and a lot of choices, and there's going to be a lot coming up for us. We just are having a more positive, optimistic, carefree viewpoint about it. And then the telephone lineman at work installing new connections. South Node, we are releasing ourselves from relationships and connections of the past that are distorting our frequency at this point in time, and our ability to reconnect to our pure original frequency and tap into that and use that as a catalyst to help us on this collaborative journey with God and universe to consciously align with that which is fulfilling for us in our lives going forward, recreating our new reality as we are transitioning paradigms right now, moving into the age of Aquarius, you guys. So again, like that was a lot of words, but I feel like it's telling essentially the same message over and over again. It is just about this revelation, this big information that is making it clear to us what we truly want and helping us come to a place of self-empowerment, recognizing the value that we hold within us and what we're worth, and, you know, taking a chance to go out on a new direction. And this is rearranging the relationship components and dynamics of our lives. And like I said, we are rebuilding ourselves from the inside out in this energy. So that's what I have to say, you guys, for our new moon in Libra. It was the day when everything changed. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. There's the one that wants to come out. This is what God, Spirit, Universe wants us to know about the energy for today and what is coming with this Libra cycle over the course of this next month. And because it's the Libra cycle, what is indicated throughout the course of the rest of 2022. And look what this card says. You will prosper. That is Jupiter right there. These cards are magical, and they always are so in alignment. It says, who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord? Jeremiah 30:21. Know that you have love in your heart as well as emotions. Turn to God within you. Fill your heart with love and faith and confidence in the one power of God, and everything you do will prosper. And you guys, another thing, Jupiter opposite the sun in the sign of Libra, ruling the heart with Venus and Mercury there. This is also an expansion of that heart energy. And again, like this is what is leading to our success, our blessings, our prosperity, and the peaceful resolutions and justice restored that this cycle is indicating as well. So very positive message coming from the synchronicity cards as well. That is what I have to say today, you guys. That is my report for the new moon in Libra. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you, you know, a little bit of whatever you're wanting in the context of this energy that we have coming at us right now. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Just take a second to hit the subscribe button. Totally free. Really, really appreciate it. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. Also share it with your friends if you guys think that they would be interested in this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. I really appreciate you guys' comments. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here with me on this collective journey that we are going through as we enter the age of Aquarius. What else do I have to say? Come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We are going to have, the 26th. This is a huge day. The day after our new moon, Monday the 26th. This is a really, really, really big energy day too. There are a lot of activations hitting. There's a lot going on. So I will be here to talk all about it. You don't want to miss it. You should be here too. And I will see you then, you guys. Have a beautiful new moon. And until tomorrow when we are talking about more astrology. Bye, guys.